Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, she is a legend. She's been in your living room for 20 years. You're going to get to know the real Celena Rae next.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
So I believe in God things, and a God thing happened the other day. I was at the Stars game, and I was looking up at the screen, and I saw Celena Rae singing the National Anthem, and I turned to my wife and I said, I know her. I used to interview her years ago. And then we ran into each other, and you threw your arms around me and said, Jeff Crilley.
I was thinking about you. I do. And I had just been talking about you to my mom, and I, had been seeing a little bit about what you're doing, and I talk about you all the time.
Wow.
And we'll get into that in a little bit. But I do. I believe in God things. I believe the universe just puts you where you need to be. And I turn around, I'm like, and I totally tackle you. I had to apologize to your wife. And, I'm like, I'm sorry.
No, and it blessed my heart because I see you all the time, and people bump into each other sometimes for a reason or a season, and
Sure.
I love it that you still think about me. I want to brag about Celena Rae, and many of you think you know her because you see her on TV all the time. You first got on the national scene on American Idol. So what year was that?
That was 04.
04.
05. Yeah.
Okay.
When I was on the show.
Before we show this clip, I want you to tell us the story of auditioning and all that. And how did that go?
Oh, there's a lot to tell. How much time you got?
What did one of your friends say? Hey, you should audition.
Yeah. So a lot of people don't know this. That before American Idol, I started singing professionally when I was 19 years old.
Wow.
And when I was on American Idol, I was 29.
Wow.
So I had lived about 50 lifetimes in the music industry before American Idol. So many people don't know that. I was on a TV show where I actually won. It was one of the very first reality shows. Again, so many people don't know this. They just I came on the scene in 04, which I guess I kind of did. But Dick Clark put together a show called Your Big Break. It was after Star Search went off the air. You remember that show?
Yeah.
And then it was a show where you had to look and sound like a particular artist. And it was a Dick Clark production. And I was in LA, and I ended up winning that season.
I do kind of
I was
remember
like
this
the
now.
Carrie Underwood of that season, if you will.
Yeah.
And so by the time I came to American Idol, I had already had and lost 2 record deals.
No kidding.
So there was a lifetime that I had lived before American Idol.
Wow.
So yeah, and so I had lost my second record deal in terrible fashion. I was heartbroken. I swore off the industry. I'm just going to get a job and do what I'm supposed to do. I'm done. It's obviously not going to happen for me. American Idol ends up raising their age limit, so you could be 29 because up until then it was 25.
No
right?
kidding.
So I was at a business lunch of all things, and my coworker calls me and is like, "Hey, American Idol just released that they're going to up their age limit. You have to audition." And I'm like, "No, I'm not." She goes, "Yes, you are going to audition for American Idol."
And when you did it, did you feel like nailed it?
No. So this is back in the day. They don't do this anymore, but this is the back in the day where you had to camp out literally for 24 hours in order to audition, right? They did not have an audition in Dallas. I had to go to Cleveland, Ohio.
Oh my goodness.
Because I had to make sure I auditioned before I turned 30.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah, because my birthday was coming up, and I was like, I had to go to Cleveland, because if I didn't make it in Cleveland, I was going to have to travel to give myself the opportunity. So we go to Cleveland. We audition in Cleveland Brown Stadium. It's an open stadium, right?
Yep.
And as luck would have it, it rains.
Oh no.
We are drowned rats. We had to, like a piece of paper, we had to take down to the end zone to audition. It was soaking wet. I look like a rat. And I had camped out for 24 hours. People are dropping like flies.
No kidding.
Yeah, and I'm like, dadgummit, I am gonna make it through this audition, if only just to justify the hell that I just went through for 24 hours. And so I ended up making it through the first round.
Amen. Okay, let's go ahead and show a clip.
I think that you got your look together. I do think you have great potential. I think that we should see you back in Hollywood.
Did I ever tell you how you live in me? Every morning, even in my dreams. And if all this talk sounds crazy, and you don't know what I mean, does it really matter? No. Just as long as I believe I will love again, even if it takes a lifetime to get over you. Heaven only knows if I'm true to myself, nobody else can take the place of you. But I've got to move on. Tell me what else can I do? You can't stop me from loving again, breathing again, feeling again. I know one day I'll love again, love again, love again.
It's interesting because you follow Nadia, who has definitely had all of the vibe and different kind of thing going on, and it was a bit safe and a little boring for me.
You seemed a little tentative again at the beginning. Just I wasn't sure if you were nervous or just that was your approach. But midway through, you came in, you powered up with your vocals. I'm not sure with the song selection. I'm not sure that was the best song that I've heard you sing. You look great.
Thank you.
I don't know, Simon.
It's very difficult because I think with that song, it's very difficult for us and possibly the audience at home to actually know what you're all about.
Yeah.
And that was the difference between this performance and the performance before, which was very clear, this is who I am. That was like, and if someone was to say to me, what's this girl all about? I wouldn't have a clue. But you could be good.
I think so.
You could be.
She's got a good voice.
Well, prove it.
I am.
All right, so here's what we do. We get them to vote for it. You come back and you prove it again next week. Celena's numbers 1-866-IDOL-08, 866-436-5.
Okay, you haven't watched that in like 20 years. So as you're rewatching it,
so much to break down on
yes,
this one. Yes.
All right, what's that? I mean, one, you're putting yourself out there, and then
Yes.
to have these judges kind of nitpick.
It's hard. Nobody understands. Okay, there is so much to break down about this. First of all, I still love me some hoop earrings. I'm just gonna say, like, I know that was back and it was very J-Lo, and I'm still all about the J-Lo hoops. Second of all, I was super skinny, and I'm gonna tell you why I was super. There's a funny thing about those pants, okay? Apparently, when you're under a lot of stress, people handle it two ways. They either stress eat and eat a lot, or you get so sick you can't eat because you're so stressed. I was the latter, and I had lost 10 pounds.
Oh gosh.
From Hollywood. People don't understand. By the time we got to that live show, I had already been in LA through Hollywood Week. And I had been under such scrutiny and such pressure that I lost probably close to 10 pounds. And I remember that show like it was yesterday. I put on those black pants because that's all I had. Like, I had to pack, and that's what I packed for that show.
Wow.
They did not fit. They were falling off of me as I'm performing, which is why I wasn't moving around.
Wow.
Yes, because my pants were falling off because I had lost so much weight.
Oh my goodness.
Through this process, right? So that's the first, second thing to break down. So people were like, oh my gosh, she's so skinny. I'm like, well, because I lost I legit lost 10 pounds being on that show because I know that about myself now. I like want to throw up if I get really, really nervous like that.
Okay, can I jump in? Because back home, what you don't know is Fox 4 is going crazy about this. I started broadcasting live from your parents' house because, Fox 4 was running commercials all the way, Celena Rae. And
I had no idea.
You had this big groundswell of support in Dallas-Fort Worth. So tell us how it played out. Did you end up being a finalist?
Well, I made it through that week.
Yep.
And then the next week, I got eliminated from the show. There was a couple things in that clip. Randy said, Nadia, you had to follow Nadia, and that was the unfortunate. Nadia, still to this day, is a friend of mine, and I love her. She's an amazing performer, and so she came out right before me, and she just killed it, and she was like all over. And I'm like, I could have gone out there and done the splits, and and I still wouldn't have done a good job, right? And then another thing to point out is when I reflect back to that time in my life. Simon said, we don't know who you are as an artist. And I think even Paula said that. And it's funny when I look back, I didn't know who I was back then either.
Wow.
So they're saying this to me as a 29-year-old girl, that had just been chewed up and spit out by the music industry. I had lived this life for a decade trying to make everybody happy and be who everybody wanted me to be.
Yes.
And I didn't realize at that moment, I don't know who I am. I don't know what songs to pick. I'm teetering on the edge of a female contemporary artist, but country is my heart, and I'm going back and forth. I had no idea who I was, and I took offense to what they said then. But now I look back, they're 100% right. I had no idea who I was.
Well, so I want to brag about Celena Rae because when she finally came back home, I gave her a little pep talk, and you still remember some of that. But there are many people who've been on American Idol, and that was the highlight of their whole life, and it was all downhill after that. That was just the beginning.
It was just the beginning, and I had no idea at that moment until you came into my life.
Oh, you're being way too kind, but you've got this fire in your belly. You're tough. You have grit, which I think all young people can learn from your career because life is about setbacks and not how many times you get knocked down, but how many times you get up. And so it doesn't define you, but what many people know you for is the Dallas Stars.
Right.
And we see you at every game. You've got a game tonight.
I do.
Yes, go
Playoffs. First game of the playoffs.
Let's go ahead and show this clip.
Thanks, Julie. Well, we all know Stars home games are super entertaining, but it wouldn't be the same without Celena Rae. From her kicking things off with the National Anthem to in-arena hosting, she's all over this arena. How does she do it? We're here to find out. It's a day in the life with Celena Rae. All right, we've got so many questions. A day in the life of you. Yes. Where does it start?
I just, kind of get ready, get situated, get set up in my dressing room, and then I head over to media dining because you got to eat. And then I just meet with our producer. We just kind of do our run through, kind of go through the show and what's going on, kind of what the elements are, so I know where I need to be, what part of the building I need to be, and when, and different things like that. And then we make our way over. We get some hot tea because I have to do that.
You got our tea. I'm following you. Where are we off to next?
Okay. So now that we have our tea with honey, I make my way down to the tunnel to get prepped up. I've got to warm up. I've got to get mic'd up.
Do it. All right. I'm scared.
Ready?
Do you have to do the facial expressions like that?
Yes. Ready?
Yeah.
You gotta feel it. You gotta feel like the vibrations up here in your nose.
I want to let her do
No,
this.
do it again. Do it again.
Oh.
You gotta push from here.
When you're singing the national anthem, there are two parts where you scream stars.
Yes.
Okay, as someone singing it, do you smile, chuckle inside? How do you not keep yourself from just like, stars?
It's so funny that when I first started, it kind of threw me a little bit 11 years ago. But now I kind of give it a little, Somebody said, you should just yell stars when you're singing. I'm like, well, that would probably throw me off completely.
All right. We did it. We made it through. So what else are your kind of things you have to do after this?
Yes. Okay. So we have what are called PA reads, basically any kind of sponsorship, anything that's going on, information that we need to get to the fans that are here. So I'll spend the rest of the night going straight from the anthem down to the tunnel to do reads and kind of get the information out to the fans. And then I go on the ice and host the intermission games, which is a lot of fun and can be a little dangerous out there sometimes. Every single night, second intermission hot chocolate, it's a must. I have to have it. So it just makes everything better here. This is such a great organization. I've been here for 11 seasons. It's an honor every single night to be here and to sing for these fans. And this is my family, and I take pride in what I do, and I love it here. And I hope that I'm going to be here as long as they want me here, as long as the fans want me here. I'm here. Fini. Done and done. That's the day in the life of me. Hope you enjoyed it. Bye.
Watch Stars Insider on Fox Sports Southwest.
Okay, a couple of observations. That was 7 years ago. You have not aged.
Oh, you're so sweet. You are so sweet. I'm like, oh man, I got a lot more crusty than I did back then.
And then the little girl in the background is not so little.
That is my oldest baby. She is like learning how to drive right now. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, that's Sophia.
Wow.
Yes, she was a baby.
So 18 seasons.
Yes.
That's a long time. And
Yeah.
I guess it could become like Groundhog Day, but you don't let it, do you?
No, I don't. You know what? And I mean, there have been seasons where I'm like, all right, here we go. But then I get out there on the ice, and these fans, our fans here in Dallas, I've watched this organization grow over the last 18 seasons to where we had 5,000 people in the building, and now we are sold out every single night. And we have some of the most devoted, passionate hockey fans here in Dallas, and it's so great to see that growth. And so, these people have been through every important milestone in my adult life. And it's crazy to think. I mean, I was engaged, I got married. They have seen me at my worst. I've been pregnant 3 times on the ice. They have watched my life just kind of unfold, and we've kind of all been there together. So it truly does feel like a family environment. So on days where I'm like, okay, it's work, when I get there and I'm like, okay, this is home. Like when I'm out on that ice and get to see my fans and I'm waving, because I do wave at the end, but I truly feel like I'm waving to like all my friends and families. I get to say I get to go spend the evening with 18,000 of my closest friends and family.
Wow, what a privilege, what an honor.
It's so fun. I love it. And I hope they want me to be there. Every year I'm like, y'all sure? I'm out there with my walker. But yeah, I mean, I sing, and I'm the only person in the league that actually sings and then flips hats and does all the in-game presentation as well. So.
And I think most people would be fascinated to learn that it's much more than you just singing the national anthem. You're working the whole game.
I am. Talking, being silly. All our fans know that I am self-deprecating, and we're going to have a lot of fun.
Well, we have another clip we're going to show, and
you are taking me down memory lane.
We really are. This is your life, Celena Rae.
Okay.
But before we show this clip, I want you to set up this movie. In this movie, you play a newscaster.
I do.
Okay, set it up for us.
Okay, so in this particular film, it was a faith-based film that I was lucky enough to be involved in. A really wonderful short film, and it's about a newscaster doing what she felt she needed to do by pulling the ear out and not going with what the producer said and what everybody was telling her to say. She's going to give her feelings and beliefs about what she wants to, whether or not it ends her career or not. And it's so funny because in the end, it actually helps her career, but she walks away anyway because she doesn't want to be with those people. And I got to tell you quickly, auditioning, coming from a news background, if you will, all of these years being a correspondent for Fox and an American Idol correspondent and sitting at news desk and being able to do this non-regional diction, and I can be very newsy if I need to. And so when I audition, they're like, "You've done this before," and I'm like, "Yeah, I have." But most times when I audition for newscasters, they want their perception of newscasters. They don't want real newscasters, right? And so this is the first time and the only time that I was able to get a role as a newscaster, and I slayed it. It was so fun.
She absolutely nailed it. Let's go ahead and roll this clip.
Here are the bullet points for the second segment interview. For the Congressman's piece from the Capitol Hill remote in live, the network is really pushing for the A block on that. I don't think we have a choice to do it anywhere else. It just does not work.
We always have a choice, Riley. It's not about what works. It's about what matters. All right? Keep the congressman in the C block. How's my book promo for the close?
All set. Publisher signed off 2 minutes ago. They said you're going to debut at #1.
You need to come with me right now.
We're on in 10.
Aaron is in the conference room.
Visiting us minions from the 45th floor.
It's not a joke.
All right, I'll be flying and keep the congressman in the C block. It's not about what works, it's
about what matters.
Wow. Have you found that people underestimate you? That they see you as, oh, she's the national anthem singer and she can't act, but you just blow them away every time, don't you?
It's funny. I gotta tell you, the words we talked a little bit about in the beginning. You said to me when we met after American Idol, you said to me, you were gonna say yes to everything. And I didn't understand what that meant. I was like, okay, I'll say yes, sure, yes. And I remember that, and I kept that with me. And so because of that, people, you even said things are gonna start coming at you, left and right, because you were on the show, and it did 100%. Things that I never thought in a million years I would ever do. I always wanted to be a singer. I wanted to win Grammys, CMA awards. That is what I wanted to do. But your words just stuck with me, and all of a sudden, all this news stuff and television stuff, and come to find out, I was good at it, and I liked it. And I liked it even more than performing on stage. Weird, I would have never known, but if I would have just kept, the blinders on, I would have never known that, and I would have never tried. And so I just kind of started in television and hosting shows and hosting a lifestyle show for TXA 21, and they're like, can you read teleprompter? I'm like, yes, and I couldn't, but I was like, yes, I'll figure it out. And then I figured it out. It was really good, and so all these things, and then the Campbell agency were like, we want to hire you, because I was doing a lot of voiceover work at the time. I didn't know I could do that, but I did. And then so I started really making my name there, and then they brought me in. They're like, we want you to do commercials, TV, print, film, and I'm like, okay. I go to an audition. I didn't know. They're like, can you do it? Yes, I can. And I go in. I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm auditioning for all this stuff, and I'm starting to get these roles, and come to find out, I love acting so much. And I'm good at it.
Okay, so let's, and we've got about 2 minutes left. What's on your bucket list? What's next for Celena Rae?
I don't know, I feel like I'm constantly evolving and growing, but I love talking to people, and I love, I have lived about 500 lifetimes in this industry, and I feel like I have so much to share. I've grown so much as an individual and as a person and as an entertainer, and I feel like I have so much to share. And so I feel like I could write a book on all of the things that I have learned, personal growth, and all of your advice.
Oh, thank you. Well, I know you've got kids that are looking up to you right now.
Yeah.
What do you want your kids to learn from your journey so far?
Say yes to everything. I say that to everybody. I do mentor young artists that are coming up. They're like Celena, or young, people in the industry wanting to, get their foot wet, kind of get their feet wet in it. And I'm like, say yes to everything, because you never know. Don't put those blinders on. Say yes, learn, grow, evolve, step out of your comfort zone a little bit. It's gonna be okay. Right? Wow. And you may not be great at the beginning, but you may find something that you really love. And this industry is huge, right? This is a big industry, and there's so many different areas that you can find your space. It doesn't have to be the one thing that you were thinking.
Wow, what an amazing interview. Thank you so much.
So welcome. Thank you for having
I thank God that we got brought back together, and thank you for inspiring the next generation.
Thank you.
We're going to end with the website, which is celenarae.com. The great Celena Rae, thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me, so fun.
That's it for now. We'll see you next time.